So I've been wanting to do this video for a while. The parts came in back on the 6th, and I just haven't had a chance to mess with them since. I've been busy. It's been a great couple of weeks of work. Let's take a look first at the Amazon package here. Try to open it without tearing what's inside. So the cushions. Let's see what kind of quality we've got here. Now these were like $5 on Amazon. And the reason I only bought the $5 ones was partially because of the reviews. The more expensive ones didn't seem to be faring any better in the reviews. And mostly because every pair of headphones I've ever owned with this type of material, they fall apart anyway. So I'm probably going to try to find something other than these to end up on these headphones as a permanent solution. But I just wanted something to put them back to original spec. And that's kind of the idea of this video is I've got a busted pair here. You can buy these in good condition used for like $40. New, they're I think around $100 still. They used to always be around $100, $120. They may be a little cheaper than that now. But you can pretty much replace everything on these with parts. Here's the box from True Audio. And True has a lot of awesome parts and obscure parts and really cool parts that you can build stuff out of or repair stuff out of. True is a great company. And for just over $20, I think it was $22 with shipping, you get this. You get a complete replacement setup, headband, cups, wires, the whole works, to fix your 7506s. These seem to be like actual Sony parts. I wasn't really sure when I was ordering them. You never know nowadays if you're getting genuine parts or just like really good third party. Third party stuff has come a long way over the years. But they're, as far as I can tell, they're identical in their construction. Metal, plastic. And the reason I wanted to replace the headband is mine have just gone like super floppy. You can't, when you put them on, there's not enough pressure to like keep them securely on your head. And with these headphones specifically, if they're not on there, you lose a lot of the low end bass response. So I just wanted to get them back to normal. You can see this just shitting all over the table. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but this stuff is just awful. And there goes an ear pad. So we've lost one ear pad already. This is just atrocious how bad these headphones are and how poor shape they're in. But inside, the drivers are just fine. They're totally legit. So should just be these 4 little screws. I imagine we're going to have to break out the soldering iron here in a few moments and just to connect up the few wires. But other than that, this should be hopefully pretty straightforward repair because the new headphone band from True is pre-wired, so it should be really just a matter of fitting everything back together. Yep, so there's the cup, and we just need to knock those off. I'll go ahead and disassemble the other one here. We'll see what's inside this side, and then I will get the soldering iron out, and we'll put these together. This is the input lead. I don't know if you can see that. The lighting's pretty tough on this black plastic, but the input lead is just it's just threaded around this strain relief and then attached to the speaker. So we will simply grab a little tool here and pry that off. And that'll let us get it off the strain relief, and we can have a little more room to work there. So that's it. That's your input cable coming in through the top, or through the bottom, I should say. Hits a strain relief, and then it's wired here onto the first driver, and then jumps over through the headband to the second driver. So let's go ahead and get those swapped out. Just to keep this simple, I'm using the most basic, crappy Radio Shack This is a 30-watt Radio Shack soldering iron. This is nothing super fancy. I think these things are incredibly cheap. I'll put a link to a price. And that is nice and hot, you can tell. And all we're trying to do here is to just heat up. We just want to heat up the pad a little bit. Just enough for that wire to come off. This is not what I would call major or advanced rework. This is very, very simple stuff. So that's our right ear cup there, and they're interchangeable. They all have the same connections on them. So if you reverse these, it's not the end of the world as long as you've taken time to do something like this and write down what those pinouts are. It's pretty basic. You could figure it out by trial and error if you skipped, if you didn't write it down, but always good to make yourself little notes that you can reference. So again, so that was the wire going over to the right cup, so we might as well just go ahead and unsolder it on this end as well. And this tab here is earth or ground to, that's going to be to the right cup. That's the input side. And then this is, here's the positive for the right cup, and you can see there that's marked with a red cable, and on the input it is also marked with a red cable. So there's the input side. I'm sorry about the lack of clarity here. This is not supposed to be a video about soldering. This is a repair video, but there are other people doing electronics repair that are far more qualified than me for you to be watching as an example of how to do things like soldering. So we're gonna attach bring the headphone input here. That's got a little funky town there, but we're gonna bring that in to the housing here, and we'll deal with strain relieving that there in a minute. And here we go. So first thing I'm gonna do is deal with the most difficult stuff first. That's my way of doing soldering. Other people might go about it differently, and that's totally cool. I tend to deal with the most challenging cables first, physically, whichever ones are going to be the most difficult to reach. I like to get those soldered first, so that then you can just kind of lay the easier ones in as you're ready to. So let's go ahead and get these soldered in. So get that little guy out of the way, and we're going to tin our soldering iron. Just get a little solder on the tip. That's all that means. Tin that just a little bit. We don't need a lot here because these are very fine gauge wire, and they also already have solder. We already have solder on the pads here, so we really, again, we're just wanting to heat that up and let it make that connection. That's all. Pretty simple, right? Now for these, I'm really just, so far, just kind of tacking these guys in place. And you can see why you need the strain relief on that input cable, because the amount of times you might like kick the headphones off of the console, or something happens and you get to put some pressure on that input. You can see how fine of a cable it is here. Without that good strain relief, you'd really you'd run the risk of yanking that out pretty quickly. I apologize if this isn't all very easy to see. It is exceedingly difficult to solder and see what you're soldering and keep what you're soldering in view for the camera there. And I think that looks pretty decent. We can quickly try to fit this together, and what we want to do is just make sure we're putting that in there, just like that. And there we have it. So we're gonna drop those screws back on this side, tighten those up. That's that. Have a look over this side now. And again, we have same thing, earth, ground, and that's going to be our positive terminal. And these replacement cups from True are marked, they're just green and red. I made green the earth here. Very simple. And we'll make red positive here. And we will fit this guy back into his hole. And it only fits one way, so if you snap it on this way, none of these holes line up. So you just give it a rotate, snap it on this way, and now you see the threads under there. So pretty easy to get that right. These drivers look like they're in great condition. Mostly these have been used for spoken word. You know, a lot of times in live sound, like if you don't remember to turn off that headphone send on the console, and you can be pumping some pretty serious volume through your headphones all night, and they may or may not survive. So let's try to get these guys on. These are so nice and tight and secure. It's really, really awesome. So we're just gonna fit that crappy material, whatever that actually is. That just fits around that edge. This is my least favorite thing to have to do, because I think it's just a shit design. It's and I'm not picking on Sony here on the 7506s. It seems to be across all headphones, especially, unfortunately, professional quote-unquote headphones, where they design these awesome headphones. They put so much time into drivers and all this technology and this amazing stuff that they put into the headphones nowadays. Headphones just sound fantastic. And then they get to the part that connects to your head, the part that you actually feel, and they go with this, albeit comfortable at first, but really, really poor quality as far as longevity goes. This is a really, really poor solution. So there's one of these pads. Not original quality, but for as long as the original ones last, these are fine. So we'll put the other one on here, and we'll take a closer look at them. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Hard to get those in. So there is our new pair of headphones. New frames. New cups, new pads, original drivers, and right now I did not get a chance yet to order the new input cable. I need to order a new one, but I'm thinking about just replacing this for a straight cable. I might just chop up a mic cable and replace that. So other than that, these are doing fantastic right now. And let me see if I have, do a quick Spotify test here. And let's get, oh boy, these are all going to be copyright protected, aren't they? Shoot. Let me see if I have anything on my phone that will not be copyright protected. All right, we're going to get kind of meta here. We're going to test it with a YouTube video of my review. We'll see what happens here. So here's left side.
Let's get it out of the way. Why would I sell a $2,000 sound device as 442 in favor
Right
of
side.
a $250 Tascam unit? The answer to that is I simply wasn't using the 442 enough.
I don't know what
when
this is
I
going
was
to sound
working in
like.
situations where I needed a mixer like that, they were
That's the whole video for under $30, all out the door. And I don't know what it'd take me to make this video while filming 20 minutes total. So if I was just replacing the headphones, I think this might be a 10-minute fix, including setting up your soldering station and all that business. And just absolutely fantastic. It's a brand new pair of 7506s that I can keep using. I'm really excited. Super happy. Thanks again to True Audio for having these parts available and in stock, and it's such a great price. It's just really cool that you can do this, that you can repair stuff, not replace it, and keep your... Otherwise, I mean, this is what I had before, just ragged to shit and completely in bits, and this is a nice, exactly the way they came from the factory almost, tight new pair of 7506s. So I couldn't be happier to keep these working and to keep these usable. They're going to go on a lot of gigs with me again, and I just love that. So leave a comment down below if there's anything you'd like to see get fixed, or that you have that's been broken that you'd like me to tear down and take apart and have a look at, make a video about. Give me a shout on email, DcSoundOp@gmail.com, and we can set that up. We're working on getting a P.O. box here in the next week or so I can just link an address and you can send stuff in for teardowns. Can't promise I'll get them working, but we can take a look and tear them apart and see what's going on inside them. So if you like this video, if you like these kind of things, this DIY looks at how to fix things, shoot me a comment down below or give this a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It helps more than you could imagine. Until next time, have fun out there. Be safe on your gigs.